We are here at Panvision Playground with Ditte Deenfeldt from Ubisoft Massive, who's handling multiplayer and co-op on the upcoming Far Cry 3. Now, everybody loves co-op. So, what can you tell us about the scope, sort of what's going on co-op with Far Cry 3?
Well, it's there.
Yeah,
we have 2 to 4 player co-op.
Right.
We have 6 maps, each is about 45 minutes to 60 minutes of gameplay. Drop in, drop out. And one thing that's really important to me is that it is co-op that's uniquely crafted to be co-op. Any situation that you're in, everything you see, it's made for co-op. It's not just network single player. The characters are unique, the environments are unique, and everything is just made to support co-op and the team play that requires.
So one of the big things about Far Cry has always been that sort of open, sandboxy approach to the fighting.
I've chosen that the team play in this case is more important than the freedom of the open world. I want people to play close to each other. I want them to stay close to each other, to help each other out in situations. And that means that the kind of levels that we've ended up crafted isn't this open expanse. However, one thing that's also a part of the Far Cry brand is that you can approach any situation any way you want. Like, do you want to sneak? Do you want to go in, gun blazing? Like, how do you want to do it? And that aspect is still kept for co-op. It's a lot more difficult to do that when you're 4 people, as you probably know, but it's still there and you can do it. But team play is the focus, and that requires levels that's a little tighter, that keeps people together, and mission design that makes people just play together more.
So it's its own separate story, right? With different characters. Without spoiling too much, what's sort of going on there?
Well, the co-op campaign takes place about 6 months before single player, before Jason Brody, the single player character, comes to the island. So it kind of gives a little bit of a background of what the islands are like. And our 4 characters are all working on this seedy, private, let's call it a cruise ship, but it's not a nice place. Not a nice place. Like, it's not a place you want to work if you would choose something. If you could choose something else, basically. And another reason for that is that the captain of the ship, when they come into these waters where the islands are, actually chooses to sell out the ship with crew, everyone, to Vas, the crazy mohawk guy. I've ever told you the definition of insanity. That guy. Who boards the ship with his pirates and just goes insane like he does. And in that process, our 4 co-op characters basically rebel, and they, take the guns from the pirates and they start fighting, and they're going to go after the captain. They're going to get revenge. They're going to get basically also the money that he took, so that they can get off the island and start a new life. And that's where you start. So you just put there on the island and have to fight that insanity that you see.
So it has that sort of, or does it have that sort of playing with your own sanity thing that we see in the campaign, maybe?
It doesn't have, not as much as for Jason, and I think there's a very good reason for that, and that's Jason in single player. He's alone in the jungle. He's not a hero. He's never killed anyone before. The things that he's going through, they're so much more emotional and dramatic, and that's what you experience in single player. And I think that's an amazing place for it. In co-op, if you're sitting in the couch with your brother, farting, there's not a lot of room for that kind of those more deep emotional experiences. So we've kept it, you see the insanity of the island. It's serious things that's going on, the things that you see around you, it's not nice.
But it's all sort of external rather than internal.
Yes. And another reason for that is that even though the characters are uniquely designed for co-op, they're fully fledged, really interesting characters. The way that they play, the way that you play, is something that you decide. Because the profile that lets you choose your loadouts and the attachments to your guns and the skills you have and all of that, that's the same profile as you have in PvP. So that's a unified profile between the 7 versus 7 PvP modes and the co-op. And that means you have to have room for that freedom for the player as well.
So speaking of PvP, I've been told that there's a level editor of some sort in the game, and that's pretty much all I know. So can you just take us through the basics of what's actually possible to do with that level editor?
Yeah. Basically, you take the Far Cry 2 level editor, and then you just make it better. So there's more stuff to place out, and you can make multiplayer levels, and the whole loop about finding levels, having people rank your levels, and always making sure that you play good maps.
Right.
That's been improved a lot as well.
So is it a thing like where you have a set terrain that you place things in, or can you build your own sort of terrain with?
You can build your own.
All right.
It's there's a lot of freedom.
So if you want to like create your own personal crazy jungle island, that's a possibility.
Yes. Crazy islands all the way.
We like crazy islands. This is a multi-platform game. Usually level editors are pretty much exclusive to the PC. Is that also the case here? Leading question.
No. In fact, you can build maps on Xbox 360 and PS3 as well, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
We're going to be out the 29th of November in Europe, 4th of December in the US, and we're going to be out on PC, 360, and PS3.
All right. Well, I think that sort of was that pretty much covers it, I guess. So, Ditte, thanks very much for talking to us. And we're looking forward to playing the full game.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?